Alright, so this video we'll try to discuss about how we can become a smart, efficient researcher using tools which are available in the internet. Some of them are very simple tools, some of them are bit advanced tools, some of them are very logical tools, some of them are AI based tools. So as a researcher, when you start your research journey, you can become academic researcher, or you can be part of a research team in an industry based research unit in different disciplines. So because my background is most into STEM, I would start with a topic like we say explainability in AI. These days it's a very interesting topic. People who have never heard about explainability, let's search for explainable AI and see what is it. So obviously a quick Google search will give you loads of materials for you to start up with. So you can find few good articles. Obviously there's one from Google and one from IBM, and obviously better to start the Wikipedia article because it is very independent. And yes, so it says explainable AI or interpretable AI or explainable machine learning is which humans can understand the decisions prediction made by the AI, in contrast with the black box. So people who are a bit aware about AI, most of the time is a black box. So the best example is you can get chat open AI. You all know about this at this particular moment. uh, Somebody can say it's a black box because we don't know what's going in behind, but maybe like some of them are already available in research papers. But anyway, most of the AI which is commercial use can be a black box. So then in explainable AI, what is trying to say is we can use concepts to explain it for the everyday user. So here it says, for example, XAI can improve the user experience of product service by helping end users that the AI is making good decisions. The way the XAI explain has been done, what is done right now, what is been done next, unveil the information that actions based on. Right, so it's basically understanding internals of the algorithm. So that's what it is. So let's try asking this basic question from a AI tool which is ChatGPT. I don't think anyone needs an introduction on that. So at the same time, before you start asking questions, better to have a mental model. So you have to pick up some words like black box, the mental models, things like interpretable AI, and a few other important keywords. So we'll read this one also and try to get a bit of idea. So it says tools and frameworks to understand, interpret your machine learning models. Yes, so it goes some details on it. Explainable AI is a set of tools, frameworks to help you understand and interpret predictions made by machine learning models, natively integrated with a number of Google products and services. Okay, so it's almost the same idea, but we can pick up few more words. Design an interpretable and inclusive AI, and then deploy AI with confidence, of course, knowing that what it does. So one good example, it's not going to break up our privacy or any other security related or information related content, and model governance and things like that. So let's ask this question from ChatGPT. As a researcher, you can ask these questions from person or even Google or even a specific search engine. But the cool thing is this language model is it is quite easy to work with. What is uh, explainable AI? You can ask a very brief question. So it says interpretable transparent AI refers to the artificial intelligence systems that are able to provide a clear, understandable explanation of their decision making process and outcomes. And the goal of that is to increase the transparency of AI systems. That's cool. Most trustworthy particular situations. And there are several approaches to explainable AI. Rule-based systems, these are AI systems that operate following a set of predicted rules, or sorry, predefined rules. Decision trees, these are AI systems that make decisions based on the series of binary splits. And local interpretable model agnostic explanations. Okay, loads of keywords there. This is method for explaining the predictions made by any black box machine learning model. So Lime generates an interpretable model of training simpler. Okay, so even though there's a black box model, you can generate some sort of explanation out of it. And in deep learning, these AI systems that are composed of multiple uh, layers of neurons, which can learn and decisions and interpret because they don't have a clear set of rules decisions. Okay, likewise. So next question I should ask is, uh, what are the major issues in explainable AI? So as a researcher, I should arrive at a point, explainable AI, uh, identifying major challenges. It can be problems at the user end, or it can be problems at the middle, or it can be problem of the developer end, or business requirements. So yes, so it talks about the black box model. Many AI models, particularly deep learning, can be difficult to interpret. You can see that do not have a clear set of rules, decision points. This makes it difficult to understand how the model arrived at a particular decision, which can be concern situations where the consequence of incorrect decisions can be serious. All right. And the other problem is trade-off between accuracy and interpretability. This is often a trade-off between accuracy of AI model and its interpretability. Highly accurate models may be more complex and difficult to interpret, obviously, and simpler interpretable models may be accurate. So we need this going in the society right now. People would like to use more interpretable models, but more simpler interpretable models can be less inaccuracy. So there's a trade-off. So that's a good point to discuss about as a researcher. As a researcher, in terms of different levels, if your research journey as undergrad, postgrad, or PhD, or even postdoc, or even going beyond that to come up with a greater valuable insight into the whole wide world. So this is a kind of a good thing, because always there's good and bad, you know, trade-offs. So even machine learning has their own trade-offs. And Stephen Hawking, I think, once said AI is something that we should not perceive. So likewise, some great geniuses over the years had given good and bad comments about AI, but still I know, and I think most of you know, at this particular moment juncture in the human history, the AI would definitely change the way how we are going to live in this particular universe. And limited understanding of human decision making. Oh, that's interesting. In order to create explainable AI, it's necessary to understand how humans make decisions and how to represent the process of machine readable form. Okay, there's a lot of interesting things. Then we'll try to get this one. Obviously, we have to pick something, but as researchers, you are free to select any of those models, the major models, and then probably get one or pick few and try to see the interconnectivities in between. So let's dive more into this. Okay. So the trade-off between blah 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 and models are easy to understand, explain. On the other hand, highly accurate models, okay, it's the same thing that he's saying. It's the way how I ask the question. Okay, so there are several approaches that can be used to address the trade-off. Okay, use simpler models. One way to increase the interpretability of AI models is to use simpler model that is easy to understand. Okay, model agnostic explanations. So we discussed about this model agnostic in Lime. They can be used to generate explanations and use interpretable features internally, and of course few other okay. Now directly we'll go into the starting point. Can you suggest not he the chat GPT might say, okay, I cannot suggest, but let's see, can you suggest few good research papers discusses the issue? So that's a good starting point. Okay, so obviously he's going to give me, not he's again, so the chat GPT is going to give me some papers. One good or bad thing is it's probably giving a little bit older papers because it's having a 2021 language model, but yeah, but these papers are not really bad. I mean, like, shouldn't be that bad, or should not very I would say old. So okay, there are few papers: interpretability beyond feature attribution, quantitative testing with concept activation vectors, and it doesn't give much of details about where it was published. Okay, the paper argues. So give a bit of a summary as well. So let's the mythos of model interpretability. That's even older paper. I think that's a good place to start. So let's copy this one and let me do a quick Google search on this Scholar, probably Google Scholar. Yeah, so you can find the paper here. Not a big problem at ACM. So it's in this magazine called Q. Yeah, which is kind of a famous magazine. So where it's published, whether it's a conference or a journal, good conference is always important to understand. And then the researchers, uh, where they are working and what they have done to the particular area of study is again important. But anyway, because you're going to start something fresh, it's always good to check the credentials. I don't start with a paper which is say mediocre. I mean, it will ruin your research journey for sure, and better to start with something really good. Okay, so this is the paper. It's more of a kind of a text written for a magazine, but again, it's published work. And what I do next is I go to Research Rabbit, research, not ResearchGate, but Research Rabbit, which is specific AI tool again, which is pretty neat, right? And it can generate or predict a lot of papers in the same category that I'm trying to looking for. So ideally, if you do this the other way, it will take long number of hours, but this can do it in a pretty neat way. So explainable AI. But remember, this is what I'm doing just now, right now. I'm like without doing it earlier. So this might work, might not work. So do understand, you need to do this once or twice to get the ultimate result or the best result. So let me add this paper. So how it works, guys, this Research Rabbit, you need to provide the paper first, right? And then it will do, I think, again a bit of AI in the background, and I think they also use NLP here, and then they will find some unique papers which are related to the paper that I'm going to give. So when you're giving your first paper, you can get it from Zotero if you have used the Zotero tool, or you can upload it, or you can just give the name. And there's this other things like title and the DOI, document object identifier, and a few other things that you can use. So obviously, so there are two papers here. Okay, so both are much similar. One was in Q, one was in communications of the ACM. I'll pick the one which is probably much newer, so it will take a bit of a time, and then it will analyze in the background. So it seems all good. So let me close this one, and I have one paper here. Now we can see it's been added to my they are calling it as a collection. I have one paper here, and you can see now I can explore the papers. I can go all through all the references, which is backward referencing, or you can go and see citations, which is forward referencing. So this is a cool thing, if you're going to do this a manual way, I think it's a lot of work. So ideally you can make few collections like this: references backward and citations forward. It seems to be a good paper, which was in ACM as well as ACM communications. Both are good journals and magazines. And of course I can get the similar work. Of course I can explore through the people, the person who wrote the paper, and suggested authors. So this is AI. Okay, let's go with similar work. So you have to know how to do this. So there are several options. Again, this tool is a free tool to some extent, and you can get like 50 papers for free, and the rest you have to pay for. Meaning like to get the functionality. So it says connection between your collection of 50 papers. So you can see there are a lot of papers. Might not really, I would say, hit your target, but it might. You have to double check that, right? So under the similar work. So rather, I would like to, because it seems to be a very larger scope here. You can get the graph as well. and you can do some filtering also, but I'll rather get the citations. I do think that will be more relevant in this situation. Okay, right. So again, yeah, different types of papers are there, but here you can see some good papers like review of, meaning good in the sense like related to the topic, review of explainable artificial intelligence. So yeah, so likewise there are some papers which I think relevant. Primer of neural arithmetic logic modules might be not very relevant. Likewise, you can pick your papers and get them into your site. So okay, review of, so I can pick papers, or you can pick everything and put it into your collection. So it's up to you. I would think privacy is something useful. Personal thermal comfort models might not be. Explainable AI, okay, 2022 paper in healthcare. Okay, so these are good things. Framework for learning anti hoc explainable models. We are okay. I'm not really sure what is it, but still we'll get it. Mm, okay, see complication pregnancy. So yeah, so even though it's not very related, it has, so now you get the point. So you have added 6 papers, and now you can get similar work if you wants to earlier work. Likewise, you can get further dive down into understanding what are your needs. But I'm going to add this to my explainable AI collection, and once I go here, obviously I can get all these details, and I can sync to my Sotero, and I can open up the papers and read. So summarizing, the logic is you need to know how to search for things, even in a place like ChatGPT. So you can't just type something and expect everything from, I would say, the end of ChatGPT. You need to be a bit creative. Better to build up a mental model or a mind map using Whimsical or any other mind map tool, and then ask questions. And probably read a review paper first before asking some questions even. And you can be very creative and ask about, okay, which companies are working on this area. So I can ask this question: which organization or which companies are working on this area, right? So ChatGPT will give you some, yeah. So OpenAI is promoting friendly AI. I don't know, explainable AI, Google, Microsoft. So those are the big giants. Similarly, you can find some niches which you can work with, you can talk to. Even DARPA is interested in it, it seems to be. Yeah. So these are very good areas to build up or further strengthen your, say, the mind map. Okay, I'll stop from here. Thank you.